They say high school is supposed to be the best time of your life. That's a lie. For some of us, school wasn't about parties, lockers, or football games. It was about survival. My name is Ethan Miller, and this is the story of how a poor kid, a broken girl, and a stray dog changed my life forever. Chapter 1: Where I Came From. I grew up in a small American town most people never notice on a map.
No skyscrapers.
No dreams advertised on billboards. Just cracked sidewalks, old houses, and people trying not to drown. My mom worked 2 jobs. My dad left when I was 9. Money was always a problem. Sometimes the electricity went out. Sometimes dinner was just bread and peanut butter. Sometimes Mom cried in the bathroom thinking I couldn't hear her. I heard everything. At school, kids talked about new phones, vacations, sneakers that cost more than our rent. I learned early how to stay quiet. Chapter 2: School was a war zone. School smelled like sweat, cheap deodorant, and stress. Teachers talked about your future like it was guaranteed. They didn't know some of us were just trying to make it to tomorrow. I wasn't popular. I wasn't invisible either. I was the kid people joked about. Hey, Ethan, still wearing the same shoes? Your backpack older than you, bro. I laughed with them. That's how you survive. Chapter 3: The Dog. One cold morning, I found him behind the gym. A skinny brown dog, ribs showing, one ear torn. He didn't bark. He didn't run. He just looked at me like he was tired of the world. I shared my sandwich with him. From that day on, he waited for me every morning. I named him Buddy. I didn't know it yet, but Buddy would save me later, in ways I never expected. Chapter 4: Her. I noticed Emily in sophomore year. She sat by the window, always drawing in a notebook, always wearing headphones. She wasn't loud. She wasn't trying to be seen. That's why I saw her. People said she was weird. People said she was trouble. People were wrong. Chapter 5: The First Conversation. One day, Buddy followed me inside the schoolyard. Teachers freaked out.
Kids laughed.
Emily didn't. She kneeled down, looked Buddy in the eyes, and smiled. He's scared, she said softly. So are you. I replied without thinking. She looked at me like I had just read her soul. That was the beginning. Chapter 6: Poverty Connects People. Emily came from nothing too. Her dad was gone. Her mom was sick. Bills piled up like mountains. We talked about things most teenagers never had to think about. Eviction notices. Free lunch cards. Anxiety. Panic attacks. The fear of becoming nothing. Love doesn't start with romance. It starts with understanding. Chapter 7: Stress and Silence. At night, I worked at a gas station. Homework at 2 a.m. School at 7 a.m. Emily stopped smiling as much. One day she didn't come to school. Then 2 days. Then a week. News spreads fast in small towns. Chapter 8: The News. Emily's mom was hospitalized. No insurance. No money. Emily moved in with an aunt who didn't want her. She stopped answering texts. I felt helpless. Buddy sat next to me every night, like he knew something was wrong. Chapter 9: Love Doesn't Ask for Permission. I skipped school and went to her house. She opened the door with red eyes. I didn't want you to see me like this, she whispered. I said the only honest thing I had. I'm already here. She cried into my jacket. That's when I knew. This wasn't just a crush. Chapter 10: Everything Falls Apart. The gas station cut my hours. Mom got sick. Bills grew. One night, Mom said, if things don't change, we'll lose the house. I was 17 years old and felt 70. End of part 1 cliffhanger. Life doesn't warn you before it breaks you. School pressure increased. Emily disappeared again. Money ran out. And then Buddy went missing. That was the moment everything changed. Buddy never missed a morning. Never. So when I walked behind the gym and didn't see him, my stomach dropped. I checked the dumpsters, the alley, the street. Nothing. I asked around. Some kids laughed. Probably got hit by a car. Stray dogs don't last long. I wanted to punch someone. That dog was the only thing that waited for me every day without judging who I was or how poor I looked. I went home angry, scared, empty. That night, Emily texted me for the first time in weeks. Emily, I'm not okay. Chapter 12. The Weight of Mental Health. I biked to her aunt's house in the rain. Emily looked smaller than before, like life was slowly erasing her. She hadn't been eating. She wasn't sleeping. She was drowning in thoughts she didn't know how to stop. I feel like a burden, she said. Like the world would be lighter without me. I froze. No one teaches you how to respond to that. So I did the only thing I could. I stayed. Sometimes love is just refusing to leave. Chapter 13. School doesn't care. At school, teachers warn me. You're failing math. You're late too often. You won't graduate like this. They talk like my life was a checklist.
No one asked why.
Emily stopped coming completely. Rumors started. She's crazy. She's on drugs. She dropped out. The truth was quieter and heavier. Chapter 14. Money changes everything. One night, I overheard my mom on the phone. We're behind again. I don't know what to do. Eviction. That word hits different when it's about your house. I picked up extra shifts, cleaned offices at night, delivered food on weekends. I was exhausted. Still broke. That's when I made a stupid decision. Chapter 15. The Wrong People. At the gas station, I met Marcus. Older. Confident. Always had cash. He noticed my stress. Easy money, he said. Just deliveries. I knew better. I did it anyway, because poverty makes you brave in the wrong ways. Chapter 16. Emily finds out. Emily noticed the cash. New shoes. Paid bills. She didn't smile. Where did this come from? She asked.
Elite.
She looked at me like she wanted to believe me, but couldn't. That night we fought for the first time. Love doesn't protect you from fear. Part 3. Consequences. Chapter 17. The night everything broke. The delivery went wrong. Police lights. Sirens. Hands on the hood. Marcus ran. I didn't. I spent the night in a holding cell thinking about how stupid I was. About my mom. About Emily. About Buddy. I thought my life was over. Chapter 18. The dog returns. When I got out, bruised and terrified, I walked home. And there he was.
Buddy.
Thinner. Dirtier.
Alive.
Someone had taken him. Then abandoned him. He ran to me like I was the only thing left in his world. I sat on the sidewalk and cried.
Hard.
Chapter 19. The Confession. I told Emily everything. The money. The arrest. The fear. I expected her to leave. She didn't. She said, "We're both just trying to survive." That sentence saved me. Chapter 20. The news again. Emily's mom passed away. No dramatic music. No warning. Just gone. Emily shut down. I stayed with her through the silence. Some pain doesn't scream. It whispers. Chapter 21. Senior year. Senior year felt unreal. Everyone talked about college.
Prom.
The future. Emily and I talked about rent.
Food.
Therapy. We were kids pretending to be adults. Or adults trapped in kid bodies. Chapter 22. The final test. I was offered a deal. Charges dropped if I stayed clean and finished school. I almost didn't graduate. The night before finals, the power went out again.
Candlelight.
Silence. Buddy slept between us. Emily held my hand. For the first time, I believed maybe, just maybe, we'd make it. Chapter 23. Graduation day. We stood in borrowed gowns.
No parents cheating.
No fancy photos. Just us. When my name was called, I thought about every night I wanted to quit. Emily cried. So did I. Chapter 24. The end. Or the beginning. We didn't become rich. We didn't become famous. But we survived. Emily went to community college for art. I worked construction and studied at night. Buddy grew old and slow. And sometimes, when life gets heavy, I remember. We were just kids. Trying to survive. And somehow we did.